What up, what up? Welcome to the Hub of Fantasy Football. I'm your host, Uriah, and I got my co-host, Foley. What's going on, Foley?
Hello, it is Foley, and I just want to give a shout out and we miss you to our co-host who is once again missing, Evan. He is the comedic relief of this podcast, not because he's funny, but because it's funny just how bad he is at fantasy football.
Ooh, shots fired on the podcast. That's a little messed up, but we'll see how this goes. So today what we're going to get into is the draft and the results of the draft. Just an overall, Foley, what did you think about it?
Yeah, I think, and this is where we're going to disagree, Uriah, but I came out of the draft feeling like everybody has gotten better at drafting. There's not really as many crazy drafts as there used to be. Like, you can make an argument for, even if you didn't like the players, you can make an argument for what they were doing with everybody. The whole Shedeur thing is we could spend a whole podcast just talking about the Shedeur slide. I just spent 30 minutes talking to somebody about this, but...
Yeah, I would love, I mean... Where are you coming from? Because I have I think a totally different take on it, but I would love to hear what you think about it right off the bat.
My take is what Shedeur said publicly, which is that he was telling all the teams, don't draft me if you don't want a culture change. But here's the thing. Every team that needed a quarterback was a team that did not have a first-year coach. And if you're not a first-year coach, you're not looking for a culture change. You're going to convince yourself that, hey, I like my culture, so why would I take this guy who's saying, don't take me if you don't want a culture change? I don't want a culture change. I'm not taking him. Like, I think there's more to that part of it than people are talking about. But obviously, it's all the off-field stuff. He didn't deserve to slide that low just on talent.
Well, our what we think is not that far off. As far as the way I think about it, I do think he went in there and he was like, look, this is what I'm about. Mm-hmm. If you don't like it, that's fine. I think he came in there with a chip on his shoulder, and I think he was ready to prove himself, and he was betting on himself. Mm-hmm. He wasn't really worried about where he was going or what he was doing. He was just letting people know. And I think that came off as cocky. Mm-hmm. And... you know, like you said, older coaches, they didn't want to deal with the headache. They didn't want to deal with Deion Jr. And his squad, and they didn't want to deal with Deion because, you know, they were probably thinking that Shedeur is going to be like, hey, Dad, they want me to run this, and Dad's going to, you know, hey, you need to do this, and then it's going to get back to the coach, and it's just going to be a nightmare. But I don't think that's how he's coming. I think he's coming off as legit really wanting to play.
Yeah, and I will say this, because I know it's very easy to look at how that draft went and just think it's kind of funny and laugh at the guy, take some schadenfreude.
Yeah.
But I just want to acknowledge this is basically a child. Like, this is a 21-year-old who, like, to no fault of his own, and I know it's hard to feel sad for a rich kid, but
yeah.
But at the same time, his entire life, he has been told that things are one way, and we watched him find out over the course of a weekend that it's another way at 21 years old. And I do feel a little bit bad for him. Like, he's emotionally stunted, and I don't think it's all his fault.
Well, don't even get me started. I think that's 90% of the kids nowadays.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, and that's probably where the phone calls and stuff came from. I mean... a kid born with a silver spoon in his mouth, and everybody feels sad for him, and everybody's laughing about it. Yeah, I think it went a little overboard, but it's kind of the world we live in now.
Yeah.
And if you gotta have thick skin.
No, for sure. I'll be interested to see how it goes.
So we'll just start off right off the bat. We'll go alphabetically, and we'll start with Arizona. So what my take on it is Arizona went mostly defense.
Yes.
I would have liked to see another offensive weapon, wide receiver. But they chose, I guess they thought, I don't even know who their number 2 and number 3 is.
Oh, I can tell you that.
Besides their tight end.
Setting aside the tight end, I mean, so number 1, obviously Marvin Harrison Jr., number 2, Michael Wilson, number 3, Greg Dortch.
Gross.
Yeah, it's a little gross. I liked Michael Wilson 2 years ago. I think he's too redundant to Marvin Harrison. But I mean, this was a team that needed to get some defensive personnel. They were like, it was basically the all MAC team on their on their defense last year. So it makes sense that they went heavy defense.
Well, I mean, I like Walter Nolan.
For sure.
I like Will Johnson.
Yeah, I thought they had good picks.
As far as everybody else, I really don't know much. Denzel Burke, I know he's pretty decent. I don't know how they'll relate, but nothing really crazy on the fantasy side.
Yeah, no, it's almost completely irrelevant to fantasy.
All right, moving on to Atlanta. Now, Atlanta did basically the same thing, but I love their first 2 picks.
Yeah, it was aggressive to trade back into the first. So for people, just to recap, they took Jalen Walker at 15 overall, linebacker / edge hybrid out of Georgia.
And then Pierce.
Yeah, then they traded back into the first round at pick 26 to take James Pierce, who has concerns about his
Personal.
drive.
Yeah, well, it's personal, yeah.
Like, so I just want to clarify for our listeners of whom there are tens, hopefully.
Tens of tens.
When we say off-field issues, that can mean a lot of things. For James Pierce, it was concerns that he just doesn't love the game enough, that he shows up late to practice, leaves early, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Nothing like driving drunk like all the other Georgia players.
Right.
But yeah, other than that, I didn't really see anything crazy.
No, we thought maybe that they would go aggressive and take a wide receiver. That didn't happen.
I know.
So nothing fantasy. They went heavy defense. I am concerned coming out of it I made a list of winners and losers for fantasy, just like on an individual player basis. Yep. I almost put Bijan on it just because he lost his center in free agency, and they didn't replace him.
But they didn't replace anything else, so he's kind of still their number one option.
Oh yeah. I just meant a loser just in terms of his offensive line's a little bit worse.
I got you. Moving on, Baltimore. Now they addressed their needs. Looking at it, I didn't like it personally. Their first offensive weapon was LeJohntay Wester, and there were at least 2 other wide receivers I think they should have went with over that. That was Tez Johnson and Ricky White from UNLV. That's me personal.
The thing with that pick, and I don't mind Wester as a player. I agree that Tez Johnson's more interesting, but what they really needed is a big bodied X. And there weren't any of those left. There weren't many in the draft overall, and there certainly weren't by pick 203 where they took Wester. It's good news for DeAndre Hopkins because that means he's still going to be out there, and Rashad Bateman. Those are going to be your 2 outside receivers. But I think they could have used a more reliable.
And this is the part where these scouting agents, they're not going to have a job next year because. I just wish. I mean, I understand, like you're saying, the big body and. They want somebody who can do this and do that, but man, let's just get the best player.
Yeah.
But once again, I'm not an NFL scout. I'm not even a high school scout. So, but I mean, I feel like I know.
We are open to work, though, NFL teams.
Absolutely. Hey, put me on as just give me some free swag, and I'll do it. I mean, I'll be totally open. Other than that, they didn't really get anybody. I mean, I like Emory Jones.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Mike Green is another one with off-field issues, and again, let's specify what those are. It's sexual assault allegations going back to high school for him. That's why he slid to the second round. But if it weren't for that, he would have been a top 10 pick. So if things work out there, hey, that's a steal. And I like Malachi Starks, the safety they took in the first round. I think that was a great pick. So they did some things on their defense that I think are fine. And their most important move on the offense was that they re-signed their left tackle. What's his name? The old guy, Ronnie Stanley.
Yeah.
They re-signed him. That was mission number 1 this offseason for the Ravens, and they did that.
All right. Moving on. Buffalo.
Eventually, we're going to get to teams that matter for fantasy. I
know,
promise.
right? Buffalo mostly defense. I do like Jackson Halls, the tight end, but he's going to Buffalo where there's already 2. So I mean, he'll be.
Halls is just a run blocker, really. Like he's going to be an inline, not relevant for fantasy. I don't see him as a receiving.
He's fast though, but I mean, I understand what you're saying. So that's basically them. Carolina, here we go.
Yeah, here's a good one. Yes.
Okay, love their first pick. Love Tet. The problem I have is Trevor Etienne.
But where you took him, I mean,
That's what. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, number 114 overall. It's fine. It's fine.
It's a lot of people they could have went with that I feel like was better. Etienne is not that guy.
No, he's not. It's just Etienne is also not like what you would expect based on his brother.
Yeah.
So Trevor Etienne, just so people know, is 5'9", 205 pounds. He is a
Bowling
power
ball.
back. Yeah,
Yeah.
he is a bowling ball type. And I mean that could be a decent sort of goal line thing to spell Chuba Hubbard. We know that Chuba Hubbard's the number one.
Yeah.
I know they brought in Rico Dowdle, but whatever. It's Chuba Hubbard's backfield, and I'm fine with Trevor Etienne as a bowling ball.
Yeah.
But the more important pick is obviously their first pick.
Oh, Ted. Yeah, that's. Look, I feel like he's 1B on the wide receiver list. He's right below Trevor. I mean, Lord, I can't even think
Xavier Legette.
No,
Oh, you're talking about for the Travis Hunter. Yeah.
Yeah, he was the
Yeah.
he was the actual best
Pure wide receiver.
pure wide receiver. I think he will be. I think this will only help Young. But saying that, I mean, I don't know if I have a whole lot of trust in Bryce Young yet.
I don't know. I mean, Bryce Young is the latest on this train. That wasn't just good play we saw at the end of the year. That was elite play from Bryce Young we saw at the end of the year. And now we do give him this weapon. I think it's a great compliment to Xavier Legette. Like Legette can be a true Z, which I loved Legette last year,
Yeah.
and I always projected him as a Z. I think Tet is an X that you can move into the slot sometimes, but I think they will go very nicely together.
Okay.
And let Legette, who's just so blazing fast. People forget how fast he is. If he can just get behind defenses while McMillan is the high volume guy, possession guy. I think that's going to work really well. For me, it was always what team does McMillan go to. I think this is a great situation for him. I'd be excited to draft him this year, and it makes me a little more comfortable with Bryce Young.
Okay, so let me ask you this. You said Bryce Young was elite at the end of the year. So let's take Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold was, I mean, he had all the makings of, I'm stretching a little bit, all the makings of an MVP up till like week 13.
You are stretching a little bit.
Well, I mean, he was really good.
Touch those toes.
So I guess what I'm saying is, would you rather have Sam Darnold last year or Bryce Young last year?
Bryce Young. Well, now I know it didn't pan out in fantasy, but
Yeah.
I would say Bryce Young's best games were better than Sam Darnold's best games.
So Bryce Young over Sam Darnold this year?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so. I mean,
Okay.
I'll have to check my model.
You're fine right now. This is just off the top.
Yeah, my gut instinct says Bryce Young. Yep, I just checked. I do have Bryce Young over Sam Darnold in the model.
Listen, let's don't get into the models yet. We're going to get to those later
Yeah.
on future podcasts.
But no, listen, I have on my list of winners, non-rookie winners. I have Bryce Young on there.
I think he did too. So
the Tet pick is that big.
yes. Let's see. Moving on, we'll go to the Bears. Listen, I love Loveland. I like Penn State. I can't remember
Me
his
too.
name.
Tyler Warren. I thought they picked the wrong tight end.
Yeah. I would have rather had Tyler Warren. I love Luther Burden. And the number 7 running back, that's just a special teams guy. I've never heard of him.
Oh, so Kyle Monangai,
Yes.
let's give him a little bit of a shout out because he is another one of those like bowling ball types. I don't have his measurements pulled up, but he is a big
5'8", 211.
5'8", 211. There you go. He is a big bowling ball type that I think Ben Johnson will love. I think you're probably right that he's going to be special teams at most and not see the field much, but there is a path for him to see the field here.
Yeah.
And with this offensive line and with the way that we know Ben Johnson, former offensive coordinator of the Lions, likes to run things, there's a path for him to be interesting if somebody gets if Roschon Johnson gets hurt. I wouldn't put it past Monangai suddenly being an interesting pickup, but obviously the two bigger ones are Colson Loveland and Luther Burden, and I think we should talk about them. But anything you got on Monongai?
Okay. So we'll start with Loveland first.
Yeah.
We heard rumblings that they were going to go to tight end. What does this have to do with the other?
Cole Kmet.
Yes.
I think there's a world that they coexist.
For years, Cole Kmet was supposed to be the greatest thing since white bread sliced, and he's never got there.
Yeah, I never really bought the Cole Kmet hype ever.
It was mostly like, the masses.
Yeah, I know. I think they can work well together. Cole Kmet is more of a true inline tight end, and Colson Loveland is more of that Y movable type, big slot type tight end.
So more of like an Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah,
type.
or Brock Bowers. Like, if you think about Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer, I think it's that dynamic.
Okay.
So I think that's why they went with Loveland over Warren. They wanted, Warren is more of a true tight end.
Gotcha.
And they wanted this more receiving Travis Kelce, whoever. Not to draw that comparison to someone that good, but or who was that good once upon a time. And
I will say, I haven't. If I had to sit there and look, I could figure out who's the number 2 right now for Bears wide receivers.
Rome Odunze. So number 1, DJ Moore. Number 2, Rome Odunze, and then Luther Burden will be the number 3. Essentially what Keenan Allen was last year, right? I think Rome Odunze and Burden will sort of swap between Z and slot.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes Burden will be in the slot, sometimes he'll be out wide, sometimes Odunze will be in the slot, sometimes he'll be out wide, and DJ will always be the X.
Not seeing anything, you got to say Caleb did pretty well.
Absolutely. I've got him on my list of winners. Yeah, I've got a couple Bears winners here. So Caleb went up my rankings as soon as they drafted Burden after they'd already drafted Loveland. It's like, we talked last year when he was a rookie of what a great situation he's going into, other than the play calling, and the play calling was atrocious. It's an even better situation this time. His offensive line looks so much better. He's got more weapons than he had last year. There's a lot to be excited about there. And I'll also throw out there, as far as winners from the Bears go, Roschon Johnson and DeAndre Swift, but I'm going to go Roschon because I liked him when he was coming out. He was Bijan's backup, so he wasn't highly drafted, but he was good in his own right at Texas, and he's never really gotten a huge opportunity. But Roschon Johnson, they didn't draft they drafted a running back very late in the draft. They didn't prioritize running back in the way that we thought they might. We thought they might go after a Marion Hampton. They didn't do that, or even the second round wave. So there's a path for Roschon Johnson. Again, this Ben Johnson offense that's really good with the run. He likes to go 2 backs, so even with Swift there, I can see a world where that offensive line, it's a good situation for Roschon if you believe in the talent, and I still kind of do. If it doesn't happen this year, I'm out on Roschon Johnson forever.
See, I can't trust it.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to. I feel like the same way like you do. I just don't. I don't know. I feel like this team right here will definitely be a 2-headed monster, if not a 3-headed monster, if they somebody somewhere else.
That is the one thing to note is Nick Chubb is still a free agent, and if they sign Nick Chubb, that changes everything.
Yes. All right, so let's go to the Bengals. The Bengals, okay, not a lot going on. I do like their first 2 picks. I thought those were good. The only thing I will say is Taj Brooks. I'm thinking sleeper this year.
I shouted him out as a sleeper on our draft preview show.
Definitely he's another bowling ball.
Yep,
but he can catch out of the backfield, so he might be the third down back. So just watch out for that when you go drafting Chase Brown.
Yep, I agree. He was one that was thinking about going into last year's draft, so I had scouted him a year ahead. So maybe I'm just biased because of that.
No, him and Ollie Gordon should have both went out that year. They should talk about
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, all right. So we'll come up on one of our requested teams, Cleveland. I love their draft. I felt like they got 2 studs on defense. They also, and I know you're going to disagree with me, but they got, from my rankings, they got 2 of the top 5 running backs in the draft.
I wouldn't go that far, but I will say, to me, the Browns had the best draft of anyone in the league.
I agree.
say what you want about missing out on Travis Hunter. I consider Travis Hunter 1.5 players.
Yes.
But you got 2 first-round picks out of it, so you got 2 players for the price of 1.5.
It was a good trade.
It's a great trade. Mason
Yes.
Graham is still a blue chip player. Phenomenal finesse
Swissager
there.
is
Swissager's
a
a good
stud.
linebacker. Yeah.
James, that's for IDP in our other league. He is a definitely stud. Love Quinshawn.
Yeah, I mean, he's another bowling ball, but
Yep.
he can be more than that. That's just how he was used in Ohio State. And then Dylan Sampson, who I know you love.
I love him.
Yeah.
And I can't believe they got him in the 4th round. I can't believe he fell like that.
I was
But
surprised, too.
Fannin is a stud. He was a stud at Bowling Green, so I mean, I'm
But it's a bad situation he gets into because of
he's
David Njoku.
but he'll probably have a year
Yeah.
to kind of take it in from Njoku.
Yeah. I'll just say I made it like for draft purposes this year, not dynasty, but
Yeah.
just for this year alone. I did make like a top 5 tight ends, and it's
Yeah.
pretty ugly because rookie tight ends are ugly. But I did have Fannin at number 5.
I think it's a great situation. I feel like the Dylan Gabriel was a reach, but they probably didn't know they were getting Sanders in the 5th. So I wish they would have went a different way.
It's funny. I like Dylan Gabriel a lot.
Yeah.
I think people's big knock on him is the height, and I
Yeah.
get it. We've seen enough like the Baker Mayfields and your favorite Kyler Murrays of the world. Now Bryce Young, even Drew Brees and Russell Wilson were both a little shorter. The height it's a factor, but I don't think it's a deal breaker.
Have you seen the picture of the hands?
Yeah.
And
Well, it's not as bad as the Kenny Pickett hands with Joe Flacco.
I know that one right there blew me away.
Yeah,
I was
Kenny
like,
Pickett's hands are ridiculous.
Look-
So Gabriel is small.
yeah, he is small.
But he has a lot of good physical tools. He's athletic. It's funny, he's more athletic than Shador.
Yes, faster.
Faster for sure.
Yeah.
I would argue a better arm. No argue. He has a better arm than Shador Sanders. And also, he's got the most starts of any quarterback in college football history. And I think that's noteworthy. So, like, just having that experience makes you more NFL ready. So I'm just going to give you my take on what Cleveland should do with all their various quarterbacks, and I know this is not what they're going to do, and I want to hear what you think they should
Put
do.
them in a Yahtzee cup and shake it.
So what I think they should do
Yes.
is for the first 5 games of the season, have Kenny Pickett start.
Oh.
For the next 6 games, no matter what, those
Okay.
first 5 are Kenny Pickett. The next 6 games are Dylan Gabriel, and the last 6 games of the year are Shador Sanders, and the entire time Joe Flacco is the immediate backup for all of them, no matter what. The others can be healthy scratches, emergency QB, whatever. No matter what, you stick to that plan, and at the end of the year, you figure out what you got. If you got multiple that are good, you trade one of them away, but try to figure out who is your long-term answer. I know that's not how they're going to approach it. I genuinely believe that's how they should.
Coming from a sports athlete side, if you have more than one quarterback, you don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, I know the old saying.
I mean, it's true. I mean, I've seen it. I've been in it. I mean, you can't do it. But saying that, I think Shador was a steal in the 5th.
Yeah.
I don't know how good he's going to end up being, if he will be good. But I think the number 2 rated quarterback in the 5th round, I think is
Yeah.
a steal.
Absolutely. Steal of the draft.
And I think he's more ready in the Browns offense than Dylan Gabriel.
I think Dylan Gabriel's the most NFL ready for any offense. And I do, like, as much as I do think Shador is a good, not great NFL quarterback, I think he's sort of a mid-tier quarterback in the NFL long term. I will say he has more limited arm strength that worries me in Cleveland outdoor with the wind that they have.
I understand.
So I don't think that's a huge deal, but I think it is a little bit of a deal. And again, I think Dylan Gabriel has a better arm. He has more experience. I think he's the more ready one, and that's why I would have Shador Sanders not going out until the last 6 games. He'd be the last one I'd want to march out.
Okay. Let's see. Let's go to Dallas.
Yeah, this one wasn't great.
What are we doing? I mean, seriously. Blue and Maffa, why? I mean, there are so many other running backs than Blue and Maffa.
Yeah. See, it's funny. I've kind of moved past grading like who else was on the board at that time, and I'm just looking at it. Okay, who is where? And Jaden Blue from Texas. I might just have a bit of a bias towards Texas running backs for some reason.
Yep.
Because of Bijan, maybe. But I don't think he's amazing.
He wasn't even the starting running back at the beginning of the year.
But he became that.
Yeah, because the guy got hurt.
Yeah. I do think it's not it's a situation worth monitoring with a very shallow backfield. I mean, come on, he's competing with Miles Sanders. He's got a path to the field.
I know.
For fantasy. But I agree with you. Like, it's not an exciting pick. It's not a sexy pick. Tyler Booker is probably the most noteworthy for fantasy, even though it's just an offensive lineman.
He's the only good draft pick they had.
I disagree. I thought Booker was a bit of a stretch, but they filled a need on their offensive line. They still have more holes on their offensive line.
They do.
But at least it's a step in the right direction for that run game for whoever it ends up being. Still not a good situation for the run game, but whatever. It's a step in the right direction. I did think their next two picks were good. Donovan Ezeraku,
okay,
I thought was a first-round talent. I love Ezeraku. And Siobhan Ravel, I've heard it pronounced both ways.
I don't see it.
I think it's a great pick for the third round.
I don't see it, but I understand.
I would have taken him in the second.
Okay. Let's see. Moving on to Denver. This is okay. Okay.
It's a confusing one.
Yeah.
Shout out Jahdae Barron.
I don't even know where to go from this. The only thing I can say is Harvey. I mean, he's what, 28?
RJ Harvey.
He's not really 28, but he's old.
Dude's fast.
He is, but he's also a walking crutch. I don't trust him. Pat Bryant, who?
Yeah,
I mean,
know. That was my feeling on that pick.
What? Anyway.
Wide receiver for Illinois.
Yeah.
For our listeners.
I think, and I hate to say this, RJ Harvey, unless they get anybody else, late round pick, he'll probably be the starter.
I agree. Yeah, he was a second round pick. Harvey was a second round pick out of Central Florida. For me, of all the rookie fantasy running backs, I have him number 3.
Yeah, because there's
list.
2 more I'd take over.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure we're the same on both of them.
I kind of went back and forth on putting him at 2 or 3, but I put him at 3 because it's Sean Payton, and Sean Payton is good at frustrating us with who he puts out there. So Harvey, I think, has a pretty clear path. They moved on from Javonte Williams. They didn't seem to love Audric Estime last year. I'm going to laugh at Jaleel McLaughlin every time, although it's Sean Payton, so maybe that's like Lil Jordan Humphrey, and he's just going to keep trotting this guy out there.
Yeah, so definitely like a precursor to what I said about RJ, definitely is Sean Payton, and you really don't know who's going to come out in the field.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's Taysom somewhere.
No, that's true. He's got. Oh no, Taysom's in Seattle.
Okay, I couldn't remember who he went to.
Yeah. RJ Harvey is definitely one that's very interesting, and I think if we can trust Sean Payton, it's a good situation for him. And he's fast. I like fast rookies. That's one of my weaknesses, I would say.
All right, now Detroit, and
here we go.
This is where I wrote gross. That's how I feel. I don't see one person worth a darn on their team.
So I can talk through it a little bit.
Go ahead.
As the resident Lions fan who was not excited by this draft, but I have learned, like, in the Brad Holmes general manager era, I've never loved their drafts, and it's always worked out.
Well,
So I'm going to keep that in mind. In Brad, we trust. Let's talk through it. First round pick, Tyleik Williams, defensive interior out of Ohio State.
I'm indifferent on that one.
It was a reach, but he is a very good run defender. He can't rush the passer for crap, but he's a very good run defender.
Okay.
Whatever. Tate Radledge, we future-proof the offensive line. I'm all for it. I'm good with that.
Isaac.
Isaac Tesla is the weird one.
That was a reach.
It was one that at the time, I thought this is ridiculous. They traded up to get Isaac Tesla from Arkansas. I went back and looked at him more because he was not one I looked at beforehand much. I will say I can talk myself into this pick. This is one that's like, it's probably not going to work out, but there is a world where this guy is a physical freak. He's 6'4", 217 pounds, and fast.
Okay, I understand that. Where I come from, he was garbage in college. He only performed at the Senior Bowl.
He did perform, yeah. So that's the thing. Like, was he garbage in college, or was his quarterback garbage in college? And when the first time I looked, I thought it was that he was garbage. The second time I looked, I said, "Oh wait, he actually looks great out there. He just has a terrible quarterback."
I know.
I think you're probably right.
I know where you're coming from. I can see that, but and like Arkansas's number one wide receiver transferred this year. So I mean, he was not the number one. I don't know. I think it was a miss, but
I think you're probably right. It's more likely than not that it doesn't work out. But I'm just saying, I can convince myself of that being like a really exciting pick.
I like Dominic Lovett better than I do him.
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
And that should tell you something.
I don't know about all that. I would disagree there. A couple other picks just to shout out. Miles Frazier, guard from LSU. I thought that was a solid pick. And also the edge from Boise State, Ahmed. I'm not going to be able to pronounce his name right. Hassanein, we'll say. That dude was born to play for Dan Campbell. If you've ever watched him, that is a Dan Campbell dude through and through. First Egyptian NFL player of all time, if I remember correctly. But like his personality, he is a perfect fit for that team.
Okay. Let's move on to Green Bay.
Your favorite. I know you love Matthew Golden, so let's talk about him.
I wouldn't have took him in the first round, but that's me. Much rather have Savion in the third round. Understand about the offensive tackle. It's kind of a whatever. Everybody else, I really don't see anything out of anybody that just blows up on tape.
Yeah, so I actually did mock Savion to Green Bay quite a bit, so I was glad to see him go there. I think that Savion Williams, a.k.a. Cordero Patterson, is like someone that the coach there, whose name I'm now blanking on, will be able to figure out how to use creatively. But Matthew Golden is the one to talk more about. I think he's the more relevant one. And I'm with you. I'm not super excited about it. I think he is another wide receiver 2 on a team full of wide receiver 2s.
Yes.
But plenty of people have convinced themselves that Golden can be a wide receiver 1, and I could be wrong. I'm willing to admit that I could be wrong. Yeah, we'll both be wrong if that happens. And this is probably, I would guess it's Romeo Doubs that's out from this.
Well,
and
Jaden Reed's throwing a fit about it because he's mad because they drafted so many wide receivers. It's like, bro, you didn't even start 60% of the games.
Right.
So I mean, what?
Savion to me is not a wide receiver. He's just a chess piece, movable type of guy. Golden to me replaces Dobbs, and Watson and Wicks will still be splitting the other outside role.
Savion will outscore Matthew Golden this year. That's
a bold take.
I will stand on that hill.
Matt, let us know what you think.
Matt ain't listening. That's bad when you have people in your league that will not listen to you. Let's go to Houston now.
I loved this one, kinda.
Listen, I know what I'm fixing to say. You're gonna be like, "What?" I'm not crazy about 2 Ohio State wide receivers.
I loved it.
I get Higgins. Got it. Noel?
Jalen Noel.
I don't know. I don't know. And then Graham Mertz in the 6th round?
Come on, we can't be complaining about 6th round picks.
Okay.
Yeah, I just like a pick like that just doesn't even register for me. Graham Mertz, the
terrible
quarterback out of Florida. This is the Florida fan talking. That's why he's all
terrible.
worked up about it.
I'm worked up because they could have had Rourke. They could have.
Yeah,
they could have.
That's true.
They could have had so many more.
That's true. Curtis Rourke would have been a better pick. I'll give you that.
I do like Lackey.
Yeah, Luke Lacey.
Or Lacey, however you say it. I do like that in the last pick.
Yeah, that's a great gamble. Tight end out of Iowa. I know there have been like, oh, he's not a normal Iowa tight end. I know he's had a lot of injury problems, but as your last pick of the draft, your
Pretty
second
good.
pick of the 7th round, take that gamble on an Iowa tight end. Absolutely. But just to go back to the 2 Iowa State wide receivers, the way I see this, I love it. I liked them both pre-draft a lot. Higgins was one of my favorite receivers in the draft. I talked about
He will
that.
be number 2.
Yeah, he's so obviously the guy that I was out on for a long time and have been wrong about. What's his name? The ex wide receiver for, or really plays Z more for Texans. The Texans' number 1 receiver.
I can't think of his name either.
God, y'all know who we're talking about.
He went off last year and got hurt.
Yeah, Nico Collins.
Nico yeah,
Collins.
Yes.
Who was he was a 3rd-year breakout.
Yeah.
But he's great when he's healthy. He's going to be their number 1 in the Z role mostly.
Tank's gone.
Tank is hurt, but Stephon Diggs was, let's not forget, before he got hurt, was great in the X role that Jaden Higgins will now take over.
Saying that, you got to have C.J. Stroud on that winner list.
You know, I didn't put him on there, but
Okay.
you're right. You're right.
He
should be, because he added these new weapons. So
And everybody was
Higgins-
hurt last year.
Exactly. Higgins replaces Diggs, and then I see Jalen Noel as competition for Christian Kirk / insurance for Tank Dell not coming back healthy.
Gotcha.
Right? Because
He's gone
we don't
for the
know.
year.
That they've already said
Yeah,
that? They
yeah.
have? Okay, I missed that. So yeah, like it's
think.
him and
I'm
Christian
pretty sure.
Kirk competing for the slot role.
I would like to say, watch out for Woody Marks.
Okay.
Definitely a good sleeper.
Running back out of USC?
Yes, he is catches passes. He'd probably be a 3rd down guy. I like him.
Okay. They need some youth at the running back position. No shade to what's his name? Joe Mixon. But,
Why are we blanking on the Texans?
Yeah,
because we don't.
Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon. And he does have Damian Pierce still there, but whatever.
Okay, moving on. We'll go to the Colts. I love Warren.
Yeah.
Not crazy about the rest.
This was one of the chalkiest picks. Like, all year I kept mocking Tyler Warren to the Colts in the first round. And that was just such easy chalk, and they did it.
DJ Giddens. Wow. I don't understand that pick, but whatever.
You know, Giddens is in this tier that's like, I kind of saw everyone after RJ Harvey as like, they're kind of the whatever, just pick your poison. And RJ Harvey was really the first in that tier for me.
I got you.
So Giddens is another one. I don't have strong feelings about it. I mean, hey, Riley Leonard as extra competition at quarterback for Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones.
He's probably better than. Anyway.
He might be. Maybe. I don't see it.
His arm.
I think Riley Leonard's awful. As I've said on this podcast before, or no, that was Sam Hartman at the time.
Yes.
That I was thinking of. But Riley Leonard also, I don't think, is a good quarterback.
I think he's pretty good. Not great, but I think he's better than AR. But anyway. Jacksonville. Here we go. I love Hunter. And I love Tootin. Let's see. And that's about it.
So, on the Hunter thing, Travis Hunter, obviously that was a big splash move. They trade up to number 2 to get him. I just want to say, we talked before the draft about it's hard to really talk about fantasy implications for these guys until we know where they go.
Yeah.
Okay, we know where they go. We still, with Travis, need to know how they plan to use him. I will say, if you are in an IDP format, check quietly check your league settings now and find out if he can get points.
Sleeper is going wide receiver and cornerback.
So he can get points for both?
Yes.
Okay, regardless of where you start him?
I hope that translates to other sites.
Yeah.
Because I have the number 2 pick, and I'm hoping he slides to me. Because that league is IDP.
Yeah, if you're in IDP, I think Travis Hunter's a no-brainer for a dynasty league as your 1-1 if you can have him score both ways. So, now that said, for a normal league,
yes,
I'm a little hesitant. I get that it's not a bad situation, him being the number 2. They just released Gabe Davis, but
I don't know about it either.
He's going to be playing defense. I'm concerned. I'm hesitant. I'm not going to be. I might not in our league. I probably won't be the one to draft Travis Hunter this year.
Somebody's going to draft him just for the name.
Yeah, Yeah.
I'm like you, without putting pen to paper, I would say Travis Hunter's probably going to be around 600. 5 touchdowns.
600 yards, yeah.
That's what I would think right off the top of my head. That's what I would put him at. So
I'll take the under on that.
I won't blame you.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was me being generous.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, I do like Bayshal Tootin. I listen. The boy is fast.
He is. He's got it's not an easy path, but he does have a path to become the starter.
I think so too. So definitely keep him on your list, especially if you're in a dynasty. Watch out for him. Everybody else, I can't really say anything about them.
I know Uriah doesn't like 40-yard dash times, but just to say, Tootin ran a 4.32.
Yeah, I knew he's fast.
Yeah, 99th percentile for running
Believe
backs.
it or not, I watched a lot of Virginia Tech football.
Is that right?
I did, because on our fantasy team, I had the quarterback. So, yes. Moving on. Once again, here we go. Kansas City, yuck. This is one of the teams I was like, this is terrible.
Yeah, this is one that a lot of people, I don't know, I don't hate it. A lot of people were like, oh, the Chiefs came out so great. I felt like they just treaded water.
Exactly.
Josh Simmons is dealing with a knee injury, if I remember correctly. Yeah, he's dealing with a knee injury. So, okay, you get a left tackle, but it's one that might not be able to start day one.
I watched Tennessee. I've never heard of Norman Lott.
Oh, I do know. I like Norman Lott.
Okay,
He's as sort of a three-technique defensive lineman. I think he's pretty good, and I didn't mind that. Ashton Gillott was another one. It's kind of crazy that he was still there in the 3rd round. I didn't mind those 2 defensive line picks. And Jalen Royals is, I think, pretty good.
He's okay.
I don't hate him. It's such a crowded receiving room at this point.
Yes, that's the problem.
Yeah.
But once again, they have a crowded wide receiver room that's
Yeah, none of them are number ones.
They have a crowded running back room that's
Oh, it's even worse. It's like,
that's what I'm saying.
It's not even in the running back room. I mean, it's kind of gross.
Yeah.
Unless you really believe that Pacheco can come back strong, I have my doubts.
Yeah, it's too much of a if.
Yeah.
On that.
Yeah. He didn't look good when he came back last year. But yeah, I mean, just to recap the Chiefs wide receiver room right now, Rashee Rice, who will at some point get suspended eventually.
Yeah. And should be the number 1.
Yeah, and should be the number 1. Xavier Worthy, Marquise Hollywood Brown, and then Jalen Royals. So I might be forgetting someone.
Another one of those people that were supposed to blow up Hollywood and never has.
Yeah, that's
injuries. I know.
For Mahomes.
Yeah.
I'm always skeptical of Mahomes for fantasy. I thought it was crazy that Evan took him where he did. However, we didn't really get to see the Chiefs wide receiver room at full strength last year.
We didn't.
Hollywood got hurt in the preseason, didn't come back till the very end of the year, long after Rashee Rice was already gone. Xavier Worthy hadn't come into his own yet. So I'm interested to see how it does look when they're all out there and healthy, and it could be good for Mahomes.
Hot take: Kelsey will be a top 3 tight end.
Ooh, that is hot because he sure didn't look like that last year.
I know.
I was I was disappointed in the Chiefs for not drafting a Kelsey replacement.
Yes. All right, let's move on. Oh yeah, let's move on to the Chargers.
Here we go. This is a fun one. It's not one of my best drafts in my books, but it was a fun one.
Oh man, the first 2 picks, killer.
Yeah, they're fun and fantasy relevant.
Caldwell is good. Kennard, I don't know. Love Gadsden. Great tight end.
Yeah, I don't know much about Oronde Gadsden the second.
Well, he was great.
Tight end from Syracuse.
I can't remember. He was good this year. He was hurt last year, and the year before that, he was crazy. Okay. So
on these first 2 picks, the first one, we knew going into this that Uriah loves this guy.
Love him.
And I'm sure he loves the landing spot for him.
Absolutely.
Omarion Hampton, running back out of UNC. I had him as the 2nd best running back in the class behind Ashton Genty. I think everyone did.
Except for me.
Except for you, yeah. I will say on my list of losers, I have Najee Harris because he got signed to the Chargers, and then we brought in Hampton.
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned of like how much of a split backfield that's going to be, but I think Hampton can eat anyways.
Yeah.
I do have Hampton as my number 2 fantasy rookie this year.
Okay.
I mean, that Chargers run game is like it's a Harbaugh run game. You're gonna
Yeah.
love it. You're gonna love it. And Hampton's. I have my concerns, as I've said, about Hampton being able to read lanes, and
Yep.
this is a power gap scheme that I am concerned about with Hampton being able to read those gaps.
Not worried in this any bit.
Like I had started to convince myself that it's exciting, and now as I say it out loud, I'm still worried about him being able to read the gaps.
He's got it.
That said, he is still an exciting player.
That would be my first rookie I take if I can take it.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, yes.
But then Trey Harris, who I know
Love
you
it.
also love.
Love, yes. He went up with Jackson Dart, and now he's going to an even better
Yeah.
quarterback. So I think it's a win-win.
Yeah, I have Harris as number 5 on my list of fantasy rookies right now. And I have on my list of losers, what's his name, who I always hated,
I hope you're not going to say him.
Quentin Johnston. This is like,
I
he's
know.
got competition. I never liked Quentin Johnston, and I think this is a sign that he's on his way out.
He was quietly good at the end.
Stop it.
At the end.
Stop it. He had good plays. He also had drops that cost them games.
I'm just saying.
He was not good last year. Let's not go that far.
low key on the down low. Whatever.
I wouldn't trust him as more than a wide receiver 4. That said, I was a little surprised the Chargers didn't get a tight end until Gadsden.
But it's a good pick, I'm telling you.
That's fine. I just don't know much about him. I'll trust you on that, I suppose. But yeah, it's.
I wouldn't go that far. Don't trust me.
It's exciting. That the Chargers are one of the more exciting fantasy teams this year, I would say.
All right, the Rams. They didn't have a first, so they got Turd Ferguson. He's a good tight end.
Yeah, I have him. I would say as I went back and forth. I think I ended up putting him. I actually took him off my top 5 in favor of. I had it between him and Fannin for the number 5 spot. I kind of wish I'd given it to Ferguson now that I think about it. But go ahead.
No, I was sitting here. I was just going to look. I think I had Ferguson pretty high up there. Oh.
While he's looking for that, I'll shout out linebacker Chris Paul Jr. Going in the 5th round. I thought that was a great pick for them. That's a classic Rams pick, I thought.
Yeah, I had Ferguson at number 3 tight end.
Okay.
So I like it. I don't Jacquez Hunter. Why? But whatever.
Yeah. It's Blake Corum's trying to get in there with Kyron Williams. I'll just preview this. We'll talk more later. I'm calling the shot now that Kyron Williams gets hurt this year and it becomes Blake Corum's backfield in Los Angeles. I actually called that shot last year and it didn't happen, but I'm calling it again. I think Kyron Williams is going to get hurt.
And I will say this, and this is going to sound crazy, low-key draft Stafford.
Yeah, I don't.
The
injury's my concern with him as well.
Well, all that's if, but
He's 36.
I know, but the year before and last year were so good.
He's great.
I mean,
I agree with you. It's a great situation. He's got Devontae there. That's a huge upgrade over Cooper Kupp.
the last 3 years have been like a steady.
Yeah,
I mean, he's putting it. I mean, I guess that's where I'm coming from. Being steady at the quarterback. That's what you want.
Yeah, I think he's a great quarterback too.
All right.
In a super flex league.
So moving on, another special request from Mr. Lee, the Raiders.
These were my second best draft of the year for me.
Okay. And I know you like Beck, so I don't even want to go there.
I sure do.
Genty, I guess you had to take him where you were at because of the name and blah blah blah. I'm not crazy about it. I don't like Besh, just being honest. I don't like Thornton Jr. Don't like Mellett, but he's probably better than Thornton.
Okay,
So go ahead. I mean, I'm not crazy about this team. I mean,
so let's talk these guys through pick by pick. Let's start with Genty, the big one. Obviously, this is a big one.
he's good, but
To me, I mean, you and I are like similarly not as high on Genty as everyone else. You're just a little lower than I am.
yeah.
To me, Genty is very, very good. with the concern about his just how much mileage is already on him. That does worry me.
Yeah.
I am not a big fan of taking running backs early in NFL drafts. To me, where they took him is borderline, but you can talk yourself into it, and I'm okay with that. I also don't think, like, people have said, oh, is he the best prospect since Adrian Peterson?
Yeah.
No. Bijan Robinson was the best prospect since Adrian Peterson. I don't think he's on that Bijan level. But he's right below it. He's one tick below it. He might be like Elliott level. He's very, very good. It's a pretty good situation. That's a pretty good offensive line. It could be better, but it's a pretty good offensive line.
He's the starter.
He's the starter for sure. Who's his competition? Freaking.
Don't you talk about my boy. You know who it is.
Yes, I do. I won't say it out of respect, and also because I can't actually think of his name.
I can't think of his name. But he's terrible. So
he is terrible.
But he's my boy.
It's a good situation for Genty.
It is.
I like the pick. He's by far my current model, I will admit, has him very low, but my model isn't good with running backs as far as the fantasy draft model.
And if you stay,
I'm going to tweak that.
If you stay with this podcast, you will learn about Folietics.
You will.
Folietics, however you pronounce it.
You will.
And how bad it is. But
not how bad it is. You'll hear how great it is for the most part. I always have to like bump up rookies because I have a hard time modeling rookies.
I'm interested in our order.
Yeah.
Our rankings.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a future episode. For now, I'll just say Genty, to me, is the number one fantasy rookie, and it's a good pick. I think he'll have success there. Jack Bash, Uriah doesn't like out of TCU, wide receiver.
He wasn't the best wide receiver there, but that's a whole
You're
nother,
wrong.
That's
You're
a-
wrong. You're thinking Savion Williams, who wasn't even a wide receiver.
He is a wide receiver. He's just so good they had to put him somewhere because everybody kept getting hurt.
Cordero Patterson.
Anyway,
Come on.
Yeah, you put that on him, not him.
I think he's good. I think it was a needed skill set of, like, you've got Brock Bowers. Great. Big slot tight end, sure. Jacoby Myers, slot receiver. Who's your X? And your X doesn't have to be your number one. But you do need someone who can play that role, and that, to me, is Jack Besh, and I think he is fine in that role. I'll also shout out third-round corner from Iowa State, Darian Porter. I just really liked Iowa State this year. I thought that was a great pick. And then Dante Thornton Jr. is a complete project. A lot of like what we said about Tesla, although I will say I like Thornton more than Tesla. He's just an athletic freak, 6'5", well over 200 pounds. He's a big dude who is also very fast, and as a sort of project wide receiver, I like him a lot. He's not polished, but 4.3, 40-yard dash. Take the gamble on him in the fourth and see if you can turn that into something. So, I mean, that receiving core, just like all the weapons in that offense now, I can see it working out. Just to recap, Ashton Genty at running back, wide receivers, you got Jack Bash, Dante Thornton, and Jacoby Myers, and then at tight end you got Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer. I love this.
Okay,
and so a decent offensive line.
Let me ask you this. You're the general manager. You could have took Jack Bash in the second.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could have took Jalen Noel. Who would you have picked?
For them, I think Jack Bash.
Okay.
Because they didn't need a slot receiver, and that's what Jalen Noel is. They needed an outside receiver, someone who can line up on the line of scrimmage and handle a little bit of press coverage. And that's Jack Bash can do that.
Listen, I am not going to headbutt you against this. And Tony, I'm sorry. I'm negative about it. I wish I wasn't, but I am. I'm sorry.
Second best draft, second only to Cleveland, in my opinion.
Second one's Patriots. Anyway.
They're my third. We'll get to them.
Moving on. Miami. Sucked.
Yeah, this was, I'm not going to say it sucked. It just didn't do a ton for me.
I guess that's why I say it sucked.
It wasn't like their picks were bad. They just they weren't good, necessarily.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm saying.
I mean, I like Kenneth Grant, but they could have taken a Josh Simmons or any of the tackles that were still on the board at that point. Instead, they waited until the second to take a tackle. I think they needed to take a first-round pick on the tackle. But I do like Kenneth Grant. He's one that I think Jim Harbaugh was probably disappointed. Harbaugh was probably hoping Kenneth Grant would still be there. Yeah. But such is life.
Yeah.
But yeah, they took a tackle from Arizona whose name I'm not going to attempt to pronounce in the second round. Jordan Phillips from Maryland is fine as a defensive lineman. Ollie Gordon was their first running back. What do you know more about Ollie Gordon than I do?
he sucked last year, but he was great the year before that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I know you comped him to Taj Brooks in that way.
yeah, I mean, like you said, Giddens, Brooks,
Devin Neal.
all those guys to me are on the same level.
Yeah.
And you're throwing spaghetti at the wall, see what
Yeah,
sticks.
yeah. And then they took Quinn Ewers in the 7th. I think Quinn Ewers is terrible, but sure, take a gamble on him in the 7th and see if he actually is better when he gets fully healthy.
I don't hate it. Let's see, moving on. Minnesota. Let's go.
This is a snooze fest.
Yeah. I don't know why they went with Ty Felton. I feel like that's a slap in the face. I will say, Bartholomew. I know I said this before. I think he's a great pick. I think he's going to be a stud. He's just got to get the chance.
For those of you who don't know 6th round tight ends, that is Gavin Bartholomew, tight end out of Pitt.
I'm telling you, man, Pitt. That dude's got a motor, and he's got that dog.
Yeah, I just don't have much to say. The Vikings didn't have many picks this draft. They didn't have a 2nd round pick. They didn't have a 4th round pick. They took Donovan Jackson, tackle out of Ohio State, in the 1st round. And, fine. Protect your J.J. McCarthy. Protect your little quarterback.
It was a snooze fest. It was
boring.
not, yeah. Let's go and move on to the Patriots.
3rd best draft of the year.
Love Will Campbell. Love it.
I love him a little bit less than you do, but I'm fine with it.
Listen, I know you listen to his hype mix and all that.
Yeah. Oh, he's the guy, the man. I love the man. This dude is awesome.
That's a stud right there. Anybody that talks like that, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sold on the man. I'm just not sold on whether he can play tackle. And I'm happy to give him the chance. I think it was the right pick for the Patriots to take at number 4 overall. There's just no one else they could take right there, really. But his wingspan is historically low. Literally, nobody in the history of the NFL has ever taken a snap at tackle with a wingspan that short. It's never happened.
Don't even bother me.
And there are some, like in the AFC East, Gregory Rousseau for the Bills, very long, and I can see him just getting right past Will Campbell. We saw it in college. As much as Campbell was mostly good, mostly held up, there were longer edges that were able to just get right past him. That said, he's a hell of an athlete. Like, you look at this guy, you wouldn't expect it.
Yeah.
This dude is fast.
That's
this
what I'm
dude
saying.
ran like a 4.6 or something. He is fast, and so when he loses immediately, he's good at recovering from
Yes.
it. He's going to lose a lot, I'm afraid. That said, I mean, even if he does only end up being a guard, that's still an improvement. We need guard help too. But they're going to start him at tackle, and I think that's the right move. We'll see how it goes. It was the right pick. I think you're pretty excited about their 2nd round pick as well, right?
I like Henderson. I think that's a great pick.
Travion Henderson, running back out of Ohio State. There are probably other running backs I would have taken at that point over Henderson, but I don't mind it. And I think before the end of the year, he will surpass Ramondre Stevenson on the depth chart.
Definitely.
He's a great run blocker.
Yes.
Pass blocker, rather. So he's great at pass protection.
Doesn't fumble.
That's
Ramondre.
right. Yeah, that's right. The big problem, just to remind everyone, with rookie running backs is that sometimes they can't see the field because they're not good in pass protection.
Yeah.
That's what keeps them off the field as rookies. We're not going to have to worry about that with Travion Henderson. He's a phenomenal pass blocker. He might already be a better pass blocker than Ramondre Stevenson is, and that's going to get him time on the field. And then there's Kyle Williams, wide receiver out of Washington State.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No,
I do.
I
I
mean,
like it a lot.
He's just a big play person. That's
He's
it.
fast. Oh, well, that's the thing. As someone who has followed the Patriots closely for a long time, what they have been missing
Is the long play?
Yeah, it's just a separator. Just someone who can create separation.
I hope you're right.
And that's what he can do. That's what he brings. Everyone that the Patriots have had in their wide receiver room for years have just been slow. Like, whatever, they're good route runners, okay, but they're just slow. Kyle Williams? Nope.
That's slow. Yeah.
He might have the best speed of any receiver in this draft. It didn't necessarily show up in the combine, but he's got that game speed that I like. Jared Wilson at center for Georgia. It's a good pick. It might not work out year one, and he's going to sort of compete for the starting job, but center is a hard position to learn as a rookie. But long term, it's shoring up the offensive line. Braden Swinson, this isn't fantasy related, but yeah, Edge from LSU in the 5th round. I cannot believe he went that late.
I like that pick.
It's a phenomenal pick. So there's a lot to like here. I think that honestly the Kyle Williams pick is my favorite of the Patriots draft.
Okay.
I think that's going to work out well, and I do have on my list of losers Kayshon Boutte because I think Kyle Williams could push him out.
Is Polt still the number 1?
No, Jalen Polk is like not even a starter at this point. But there's Stephon Diggs. Remember,
I forget about Diggs.
And it seems like he's going to be healthy week 1. So Stephon Diggs is the number 1.
You don't think
Demario Douglas in the slot, and then it's a pretty open field for the other outside
don't think it's
spot.
Boutte?
I don't think it's Boutte. I think he's going to get cut before.
Don't you talk about Boutte like that?
I could be wrong. I like Boutte. Don't get me wrong. But I think he's a cut candidate for sure.
Okay. Moving on, the Saints. My question here.
This is a funny one.
Did the Saints know about Carr?
I was about to say the same thing.
I feel like they did.
They had to have at least known it was a possibility.
They had to.
Because there's no way they didn't know it was a possibility. I had to update my quarterback model that I had just finished building when Carr announced his retirement. Tyler Shuck is my number 2 in terms of year 1 rookie fantasy quarterbacks.
He will lead all rookies in scoring.
He'll certainly lead them in interceptions. But possibly scoring as well. I wouldn't put it past him.
I'm just saying it's because of quarterback.
Yeah. I haven't gotten deep into it. I've heard that he has a pretty good fantasy playoff schedule. That the Saints do. So keep that in mind. Tyler Shuck is an interesting one. I think I'm going to give this comparison while acknowledging that I liked the guy that I'm comparing him to a lot more, and most people hate him. And that is Will Levis.
Oh, Mayo boy.
Because if you watch Tyler Shuck,
Levis.
I love Levis. I still believe in Levis. I don't love Shuck. I think he's okay. I don't love him. But if you watch Shuck, what you will see is some amazing plays and also the stupidest plays you have ever seen in your life. There is one play that might be the worst quarterback play I have ever seen in the history of football at college or higher level. It is awful, some of the decisions that he makes, especially under pressure. So there's going to be some real high and low with Tyler Shuck.
More low, probably.
Probably more low. And of course, he's still competing with Spencer Rattler. It's not a given that Shuck wins the starting job. It's expected. He's also he's very brittle.
I hope Rattler wins it.
Maybe so.
I don't know why. I just hope he does.
Shuck has been injured his entire career.
Yeah.
That's why he's like 26 right now.
Yep.
So that's another thing to keep in mind with him. But it's not a bad pick. And Kelvin Banks Jr., Joe called that pick, by the way. Joe predicted Kelvin Banks to the Saints at 9, and that's exactly what happened. They're moving on from Trevor Penning at tackle, so it makes sense to bring in Banks. He'll play guard this year and kick out the tackle next year, I suspect. But, it's hard to be excited about the Saints right now. Sorry, Saints fans. I know we have multiples. They did draft Devin Neal, who I've referenced a couple times already today. Yeah, he's not exciting at all.
I wish they would have went with a wide receiver.
Yeah, well, that was...
I really did.
I had mocked in my official predictive mock.
I knew you did. Yeah.
I picked Tet McMillan, and then an hour later, they announced that they were picking up Olave's 5th-year option and not picking up Trevor Penning's, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm wrong. They're not going to take McMillan. They're going to take an offensive lineman.
I know, but I feel like they still should. At least, well, anyway.
And McMillan was already gone, by the way.
Yeah.
And so then it's like, what, are you going to take Matthew Golden that early? God, no. Emeka Egbuka, there wasn't a great pick.
I like Egbuka.
I love Egbuka, and we'll get into him in a bit.
All right, let's go to the Giants. Okay, I'll say this. I like their draft, but it's just because of 3 picks, and I don't know if 2 of them are going to pan out. That being Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterboot.
I am pretty much exactly with you.
I hope they do. I don't have a lot of hope for it. I do think Abdul Carter is one of those talents that's off the wall.
He's a blue chip.
I like Jackson Dart. I'm afraid he's not going to last. I like Cam Scatterboot. I don't think he's going to last. And other than that, they drafted, I know it's 7th round, and I know you don't like this, but the tight end from Nebraska.
You know your tight ends.
Dude, I do not know why they drafted this guy. There were so many. Restrepo from Miami
Went undrafted.
went undrafted, and these people passed him up for a jacked up Nebraska tight end. That was terrible. Anyway, moving on.
So what I'll say about these Giants picks is, with Abdul Carter, the Giants now have one of the best defensive lines in the NFL.
Absolutely.
So good for them there.
What about their secondary?
Yeah, their secondary is pretty gross.
Yeah.
Pretty gross.
Yeah.
Jackson Dart, I've said before, my heart likes Jackson Dart a lot. My brain has questions about him. He has, his production is impossible to argue with. He was so good at Ole Miss last year. How much of it was just scheme-driven? He didn't take any snaps under center. At the Senior... was it the Senior Bowl or the Shrine Bowl? I think the Senior Bowl.
I think the Senior Bowl.
At the Senior Bowl, he struggled taking snaps under center, so I'm worried about that. I think it's a good landing spot where he's got 2 starters ahead of him. He's 3rd on that depth chart behind Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. It's not going to be easy for him to see the field this year, but not impossible. And he's got to learn how to slide. That kid takes way too many hits, and he's not built like that.
Well,
he's not small, but he ain't ready to take those kinds of hits. And then, Darius Alexander out of Toledo, I kind of like. He's fine. But then Cam Scatterboot. It's such a confusing backfield now.
I know.
Because there is still Singletary there, and I'm not ruling out the possibility that he stays in the mix. You got Tyrone Tracy, my guy, possibly someone I'm going to have as a keeper this year. It's weird. If you told me that Singletary is not going to be in the mix and it's just Scatterboot and Tracy, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
But if Singletary is going to be involved, and I'm afraid that he is, this is an ugly backfield.
Yep. It's definitely, like you said, that the running backs would be a loser.
Yeah.
If I did that. I didn't do it, but I could see that.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the Jets. Jetss. Yuck.
There was no way for them to win in this draft, I don't think. But
I know. But, okay. Mimbu, got it. Okay,
yeah.
I agree.
He's a good tackle.
Mason Taylor was a reach at number 2.
At number 42 overall, 2nd round, I thought it was the right place for Mason Taylor to go, honestly. I have him as my 3rd tight end for rookies in fantasy this year. I think it's a fine spot. They were talked about for Brock Bowers last year, and they probably should have taken Brock Bowers last year, if we're being honest. So they've needed a tight end for a while. I think Mason Taylor... I like Mason Taylor more than you do. That's what it comes down to. I think he's more talented than you think.
I question his drive.
Yeah.
That's it. I know his dad was great. I just question it. That's it.
And by the way...
I do like him, but...
Just to say, in terms of upside... This dude turns 21 today as we're recording. I'm not sure if it's exactly today, but it's this month he turns 21. So there's still so much development potential with him that I think is really exciting. Happy birthday, Mason Taylor.
Oh, good call. Arian Smith, why? Why did we do that?
Yeah, I don't know about
Homeboy dropped so many passes last year, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. And you take him in the 4th round. I do like Malachi Moore. I think that was a great pick.
And I'm okay with Azariah Thomas, the corner out of Florida State that they took in the 3rd.
Yeah. I'm indifferent about it.
Yeah. Malachi Moore is fine.
I do like it. Moving on. Philly. This is once again the Philly way. We draft defense and we really don't look at anything else.
Listen, every year, how is it that every single year we come out of this draft saying, how did Howie Roseman get this guy? How did this guy slide to Howie Roseman again?
That's exactly.
Jihad Campbell is so freaking good.
At 31.
I could not believe... I liked who Tampa Bay took, don't get me wrong. Yep. I could not believe they didn't take Jihad Campbell. It is insane to me. And obviously the Eagles couldn't believe it either because they had been trying to trade up for 10 picks to get this guy.
Listen, don't be surprised if he's not starting.
No, you're crazy. Jihad Campbell's going to be a starter.
That's what I'm saying. Don't be surprised if he starts.
Oh, okay. I thought you
Yeah.
were saying if he's
No.
Okay,
He-
yeah,
I-
yeah. Jihad Campbell is a day one starter,
just like
for sure.
What's his name? Schwinnigan or whatever.
Schlesinger.
Schlesinger. Him. Those are the top two linebackers in my rookies.
Campbell is so far ahead away from everyone else. He is so freaking good. Like, however high you're willing to take an off the ball linebacker, he's the guy you would do it for. He's really, really good.
I think McCord was a great pick. He could have went earlier. Who'd you say? Who'd we talk about that took somebody?
Yeah, we talked about a few.
He could have went in those positions.
Sure, the Florida guy, the Florida quarterback who got
Mertz.
taken. You're right. I like Kyle McCord. Here's
It's
the
not
thing.
gonna matter.
Well, you know how I feel about their current backup quarterback, the old Stanford guy.
Yes.
Who, again, I'm struggling with names today.
Why is that? I can't think of it either.
But the former Stanford quarterback, who was the third stringer in Philly, but eventually had to start some games. I always liked him. I always thought, like, hey, this guy could actually be pretty good. He got a chance and he looked pretty good. So, whatever. Look up his name. You people on our valuable listeners. Actually, I'm going to look it up real quick if you can just talk, Uriah.
Okay. I don't see anything else from Philly. So I'll move on.
Tanner McKee.
Tanner. Ooh.
I think he's better than Kyle McCord. So there's no point in Kyle McCord to me.
I would take Kyle McCord over Tanner McKee.
I'm a McKee fan.
Let's move on to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, I know. I mean, I kinda like Caleb Johnson.
I do too. I like him quite a lot.
But it's definitely kinda. I will say Will Howard is probably the best quarterback in the room at Pittsburgh at this moment.
I agree. So for rookie fantasy quarterbacks, I
Take
had
him.
Jackson Dart as 3. I actually think Will Howard is 3.
I agree on that.
Yeah. I think there's a clearer path for Will Howard to get on the field
clearer.
this year
Even
than Dart.
Even if Aaron goes there,
Yeah.
it's still
Different story for Dynasty, obviously. For
Yes.
Dynasty, you want Dart well ahead of Will Howard, but for
See,
this year,
Say I would take Howard over Dart, just because I feel it's like you said, a better situation. I don't have a whole lot of trust in Dart at the Giants.
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I know they got Neighbors, but other
Yeah,
than
they do.
Neighbors,
I think Neighbors is better than freaking
DK?
DK Metcalf.
I agree. But they got other people.
Not anymore. They traded away George Pickens.
Okay, I wasn't even talking about Pickens. I'm talking about
They got Van Jefferson.
what's his name? Who they signed for running back? Nobody.
Nobody. I don't think they got Jalen Warren there still.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good.
It's a good spot for Caleb Johnson.
Not right. Look, I'm changing all the things on here. Never mind.
no.
Just strike that.
It's a bad situation in Pittsburgh
wow.
right now. I will say, I think that
I was wrong.
Jack Sawyer, edge from Ohio State's a fine pick in the 4th round. That's about it for me, though, on them.
Yeah, never mind. I take all that back. Although I do like Will Howard. Moving on, Seattle. What do you think about Seattle?
I think this is one we're going to disagree on. Uriah and I were talking before the podcast, and we'll just go and spoil this for everyone. Uriah thinks Seattle had one of the worst drafts of the year. I think they had the 5th best draft of the year.
Okay.
Actually, 4th best. I wrote down the Raiders on here twice. I wrote them once down as Las Vegas and once down as Oakland.
Okay, so give me just offense.
Yep.
Tell me how you feel.
Gray Zabel is the best interior offensive lineman in this draft. Seattle
Okay.
has always been afraid of drafting interior offensive linemen in the 1st round. Mm-hmm. They finally did it, and Gray Zabel is a great one. They desperately needed interior help, and they got the best one on the board in Gray Zabel. That alone is huge. Elijah Arroyo. They've needed help at tight end. They got one that I think is pretty good, pretty athletic. I like the Arroyo pick. Milroe is not one that I expect to work out. However, we talked about this in the preseason. We both compared him to Anthony Richardson, right?
Yeah.
Here's the difference. Anthony Richardson went number 5 overall. Jalen Milroe went number 92 overall.
I get it.
At that spot, he's worth the upside. I don't like. It's a good place to take him. I probably would have taken him over everyone else. Well, Dylan Gabriel is still on the board. I like Dylan Gabriel. I probably would have taken him over Milroe. But anyone else, sure, take Milroe. He offers you this huge upside. I think it's weird because he's so stylistically different from Sam Darnold.
Everybody,
that if Darnold gets hurt, it's like you got to change your entire offense for this guy. But as a project, I like it a lot. Torrey Horton is another one of those project wide receivers that, I mean, look, I don't think he's a day one great player, but long term,
maybe.
He's a big and fast guy that if you can add some polish to him, he could be really interesting. I'm skipping over some of the offensive players that I don't care about, but Damian Martinez he's
not bad for the 7th.
Yeah, absolutely. I expected him to go well before the 7th round. I think he's actually pretty good.
Now let me tell you, Ricky White.
Ricky White is an interesting one out of UNLV.
Look, I know a lot of people that are listening to this never watched a UNLV game. Let me tell you, Ricky White is a stud. I'm just telling you.
I'm not saying stud, but he's an interesting one in the 7th round. I'll give that to you. So overall, I've been the Seahawks basher of this team, of this podcast. I have hated everything Seattle has done this offseason. They aren't back to where they were before the offseason began in my mind, but they have undone some of their damage for me.
Okay.
I'm still mad at them about everything else that they've done. I think that on the whole, it's a huge downgrade for this team, but it's not as much of a downgrade as I said on the last episode.
I would go Seattle would be one of my teams this year that I wouldn't want to draft anybody for fantasy.
I mean, I'll take Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Besides him. I guess that's the only one.
And you know what? I'll take Ken Walker, too. I think they are both winners. I think Ken Walker, but by virtue of Gray Zabel and that pick, I think the offensive line is in a much better spot. And yeah, I'll take Ken Walker or Zach Charbonnet. You know, let's see how things are looking in that backfield as we get closer to the season.
I'm afraid they're going to go to Chardonnay.
Maybe they will. So like, let's monitor that in training camp.
Yeah.
But I like their running game. Let's say that. I'm interested in their running game with an improvement to the offensive line.
It could change. I could get on board with them just right now without looking at everything.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Moving on. San Francisco. Not crazy about this draft either.
Yeah. I think they had one of the worst drafts in the NFL this year.
I agree.
I think it was really bad, actually.
And, man, that's another team that I'm worried about, San Francisco.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of hope for them.
Yeah, Mykel Williams is a sort of risky pick. I know a lot of people like Mykel Williams. He wasn't super productive as an edge rusher, so they needed help on their defensive line, sure, but I don't love it. I'm just going to say who my loser for the 49ers is, beyond just like everyone, but specifically I think Christian McCaffrey comes out of this as a big loser. They didn't do anything to help their offensive line. They didn't add any weapons. He's coming off another big injury. They lost Debo.
They needed a center and a tackle, and they didn't even draft any of that.
Yeah, they didn't go after offensive line. I think that this is a disappointing relative to maybe expectations for Christian McCaffrey.
So saying that, I know we're not on rankings or anything, but how low is Christian McCaffrey?
I currently
is he in the first round?
I have him as the number 13 running back.
Oh, that's hard to digest. I'm just gonna be honest.
He might end up being higher than that for me when all is said and done.
I'm not.
But current model, I have him as the number 13 running back.
I think Sleeper has him number 8.
Yeah,
and even it's hard to swallow. As good as he's been for all these years,
he was our number 1 overall pick in last year's draft. So yeah, and you should have let me trade for him. I'm just saying.
Nope.
Mr. Cartman over here.
That would be running along the lines of
You will respect my authority.
All right. So moving on, we'll go with Tampa Bay. Ooh, I like Tampa Bay's.
I'm of two minds about this. I think Tampa Bay had a great draft.
I like it.
I don't love it for fantasy for anyone except for Baker Mayfield. Love it for Baker Mayfield. Yeah. Holy hell, how high can I draft Baker Mayfield?
Are you worried about Mike? Your boy.
Mike Evans? No.
1,000 yards.
No.
Count it.
Absolutely not. I think the loser for the Buccaneers coming out of this draft is Jalen McMillan.
Absolutely. I also think it's Godwin too.
It's probably not a good sign on his injury recovery that they took both Emeka Egbuka and Tez Johnson. However, at the same time, they just gave him a 3-year deal. They have to feel pretty good about him that they just re-upped him for 3 years. So, I mean, this was a case of them just taking the best player available, and in their minds, the best player available was Egbuka. I love Egbuka. I've said all year. I mean, this is, for whatever reason, I will always fixate on this one game because it was the best college football game I've ever seen in my life. Notre Dame versus Ohio State last year, when it was Will Howard for Ohio State, and it was Sam Hartman for Notre Dame, and it was Marvin Harrison Jr. Harrison did nothing.
But
Egbuka was awesome, and they said it was Harrison's ankle, whatever. Egbuka was incredible, and I've been so sold on this guy. I comped him to Chris Godwin at times. I think I said on this podcast, his floor is Tyler Boyd, and his ceiling is Chris Godwin.
Gotcha.
So I love him. It's such a confusing receiver room now.
It is.
I was thinking about this.
Tez.
Yeah, and I like Tez.
We hadn't even talked about him, but...
Yeah, and we'll get into him too. But, like, I was thinking about this. If you remember last year, there were so many teams that were 3 deep on wide receiver, and it was confusing. We had Chicago, and it was DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and
it was a hot mess.
Houston with Diggs, and, there were a few like that.
Yeah.
There are still some, and Tampa's one of them, but there aren't as many as there were last year, I don't think. However, Tampa is definitely one of them that's going to be so confusing come draft time. I think Mike Evans is the clear, safe one. He's going to be what he's going to be.
I would think
they
that
love
too.
Mike.
Yeah.
Can't guard Mike. But beyond that, for fantasy, good luck figuring out who to take at wide receiver. Because, Tez Johnson is such a weird player, but he's a baller.
He is.
Got to hand it to him. And in the 7th round, I love that. Other than that, I'm looking back through their draft. Yeah, Benjamin Morrison, corner out of Notre Dame, was a really good pick for something that they needed. Beyond that, it's kind of whatever for me. I don't have strong takes, and it was mostly defense for them. But, man, Egbuka has got me really, really excited for Baker Mayfield.
Yes. Moving to Tennessee. All right, this is what I got to say about Tennessee. Cam Ward, meh. Shimmery Dyke, meh. Gunnar Helm, I like it a lot.
This next one is the one I like.
However you say his name, I like that a lot too.
Me too, boy.
I think that was a steal.
Elik Ayomanar, I believe is how you pronounce it. Wide receiver out of Stanford. I just want to go ahead and, I'm sorry, you can continue if you're going on the other players.
No, go ahead. I like him. That's really all they had.
Yeah. I love Ayomanar. I couldn't believe he slid that far. I think it is ridiculous he didn't go until the 4th round. I was mocking him to the Titans in the 2nd because I think it's a great fit.
And see, he had garbage quarterback play at Stanford, and still did good.
And he is the one wide receiver. If you were going back to watch Travis Hunter corner tape, Ayomanar torched him all day long.
Yes,
he made Travis Hunter, who is the best corner in this draft. Forget about his wide receiver play. Travis Hunter was the best corner in this draft, and Ayomanar lit him up.
Yep.
He is a true X receiver, which plays nicely with Calvin Ridley as a number 2Z. I think there is a world that Ayomanar is a really good player very early on in his career, as long as Cam Ward doesn't suck, which he might suck. And maybe it doesn't work out for Ayomanar. Maybe I'm wrong about him. I have him right now, Uriah, the number 2 fantasy rookie wide receiver.
Interesting. I don't know if I would go that high, but I do like him a lot.
I love him.
And once again, I may change that once we get to training camp and see kind of how everybody's going.
Yeah.
I do like him though.
And we'll shout out, because I know you love him. I'm not as high on him, but it's a good fit. They did undrafted free agent get your boy, the tiny Xavier Restrepo.
I like it.
Reuniting him with his college quarterback, Cam Ward. I think that Restrepo he's a slow slot receiver in the vein of Wes Welker, and that role doesn't exist in the NFL
He
anymore.
had an injury. He's faster than what he is.
Dude, he's so slow.
He's faster.
He has such a limited route tree. But hey, maybe it'll work out. I think it's a great undrafted free agent pick. I thought he should have been drafted.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with it. We've talked a lot about Cam Ward. I don't love Cam Ward. I hate his release. I hate his mechanics. And I hate that he's a left-handed quarterback because I just hate on lefties, even though I am a lefty. It's probably why I hate them.
That's funny.
That's probably why I hate them. I'm pretty self-loathing by nature. But, number one overall quarterback, you got to think they like him. They see something in him that's good.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. Obviously, he is the number one rookie fantasy QB. He's probably the only one. Well, in a Superflex league, he and Shuck are probably the only rookies
I would
worth
take
drafting.
Shuck over Cam Ward.
I would take Cam Ward over him just because of the competition with Spencer Rattler.
Like I said, it all may change.
Yeah.
Last team, Washington. Not a lot to talk about here. I like their first two picks. I don't know why they drafted Lane in the fourth, but whatever.
Yeah, it was. They didn't have many draft picks because they traded for the Laramie Tunsil, not Laramie Tunsil. Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah, and
Debo.
Debo.
Yeah. So they didn't have many draft picks. I think Joe on our last podcast did a good job of breaking down just the off season that they had with free agency and trades.
Yeah.
That was where they did their action. It wasn't in the draft. Josh Connerly Jr. as an offensive line
Not
addition.
bad.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Nothing else to talk. Trey Amos at corner is pretty good too.
Yeah.
They needed corner help. I think he's a good one. But yeah, there's just not much else to say here. Winner though, I will say a winner coming out of that draft is Brian Robinson Jr. because I thought they would try to go for an upgrade at running back.
And they
didn't do that, so that's good news for Brian Robinson.
Okay.
Good old two holes.
All right. So, two holes. So, I'm sorry. Anyway, all I can think about is that thing where the girl goes, "I have 5 hoes, and I want you to fill every one of them up." It's like, well, what?
I don't know what you're talking about right now.
I know it's really. I don't know where that came from. Sorry, guys. Anyway, this is a PG. I'm sorry.
Do you have a bump chicka wow wow button on on your podcast device?
I do have.
You know something? No soup for you!
Oh,
Anyway.
God.
Anyway,
Where's that soup coming from?
it's in one of those holes.
Oh, no.
Anyway, let's move on to Foley and some of his rankings. What you got?
Yeah, so just to recap, I know I've been referencing throughout this pod, but just to recap, on my rookies just for fantasy for year one, this is not Dynasty, but if you had to take some rookies, these are the orders I would go at the different position. Quarterback, number 1, Cam Ward. Number 2, Tyler Shuck. Number 3, Will Howard. Number 4, Jackson Dart. Number 5, I would say Dylan Gabriel is worth a shot.
Ooh.
I personally like Dylan Gabriel.
Okay.
So, we'll see how all that shakes out. Cleveland's weird. Running back, this is my order. Ashton Genty, O'Marion Hampton, R.J. Harvey, Quinshon Judkins, who we didn't talk about much with Cleveland.
We did.
But, he's good. Travion Henderson, Caleb Johnson, also for Cleveland, Dylan Sampson, who's the next on my list.
Like
Cam
him.
Scadaboo. Jaden Blue, just because of opportunity. He has,
Yeah,
I know.
I got you.
And then number 10, then it's a total sleeper, but Kyle Monongai for Chicago.
Ooh.
I got to say, although old dude for Jacksonville. Who,
You went up there to the oats and reached way up top.
I did. It was between him and old dude for Jacksonville, who played at Virginia Tech that's so fast.
But shoot, too.
Yeah, he'd be the other one I would consider in that 10 spot. Wide receiver, I have Travis Hunter pretty low. I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge that because I'm just concerned about how much defense he's going to play.
Yeah.
Tet McMillan, number 1. Alec Ayumanor, number 2. Travis Hunter, number 3. Jaden Higgins, number 4. Trey Harris, number 5. Then Kyle Williams. Then your boy Jack Besh. Then Luther Burden. Then Matthew Golden. Then Torrey Horton, actually. Because Torrey Horton, man, you've got a path if your competition is freaking Marquez Valdez-Scantling and the ghost of Cooper Kupp.
The ghost.
And then at tight end, Uriah is more of the tight end expert than I am. I'm willing to cede that. But I will say Tyler Warren, number 1, Colston Loveland, number 2, Mason Taylor 3, Elijah Arroyo 4, Harold Fannin number 5, although there was someone else we talked about. The guy who went to the Rams, I'm kind of tempted to put ahead of Fannin now that we talked it through.
I like it. I'm different on the running backs and the quarterbacks. Not much, but I'll give it to you.
On the winners and losers, I'm sorry, did you have something on those before I moved on to my other list?
Not really. I said pretty much what I was going to say. I said some sleepers and some people that I really like. I hope you keep those in mind because I think they're good.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
For sure. On my winners list of non-rookie winners, it's pretty quarterback heavy, I won't lie. Bryce Young, Roshan Johnson, again, I think he's got an opportunity there with Ben Johnson. Drake May, because he did get the help.
Yeah.
I think that's big. Baker Mayfield, for all the reasons we talked about. Caleb Williams. I didn't mention Chris Olave, but Chris Olave is a winner by virtue of not having Derek Carr. So I know he's got his concussion problem, but he doesn't have Derek Carr, who hated him.
That's such a iffy situation with him.
And then 2 Seahawks, Ken Walker and Jackson Smith and Jigba, and then Brian Robinson Jr. Again, they just didn't draft any running backs until very late.
Yeah.
So great there. Losers, Keyshawn Butte. I think he's a cut candidate. Quentin Johnston, I think he's just bad. Najee Harris, kind of feel bad for him. He goes and signs with this team, and then they turn around and draft a running back in the first round. Whatever. He'll still get some work, but just not as much as we would have hoped. Jalen McMillan, because I think Emeka Egbuka is better. Aaron Rodgers, because even if he does go to the Steelers, who the hell is he throwing the ball to besides DK Metcalf?
Nobody.
Let's remember, Metcalf has always had a very good number 2 in Tyler Lockett, and then this past year, Jackson Smith and Jigba. Now he's on his own out there, and I don't think it's going to go well. And then lastly, Christian McCaffrey is my final loser. I have more winners than losers. And my top 4 drafts were Cleveland, Vegas, New England, and Seattle.
I got you. Of course we're going to disagree on some stuff, but not that bad off.
Yeah.
I think once again, it's going to come how you feel about people and where you personally put them at, and that's going to be. Just keep in mind, I have not done research, but every year there's a running back, there's a wide receiver that is clutch for somebody. So just keep that in mind.
Absolutely.
This year, if it was a one season, what's it called? I can't think. If you redraft. If it was a redraft league, there might be like 3 or 4 I would probably go for. This year is definitely more of a dynasty for the future, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. Most of these guys are not rookies that I love year one, and I'm someone who likes to draft rookies.
Me too.
I'm scared of a lot of them.
Yeah.
But there are a few that I think can hit the ground running. Stay tuned in a future episode for my Ray McLeod of the year.
Oh my goodness. Saying that, we'll start trying to do this a little bit more regular and keep y'all all in everything together. And a little shout out for prayers for our other co-host. Keep him in your prayers. He's about to die.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we will see you guys later. Uriah saying out.
Goodbye.
See you later.